Hello, welcome to the Bizarre Podcast. First ever, actually. Okay, enough of that. We're here today to talk about conspiracies. I'm not going to take up your time. This isn't going to be an hour or two podcast. It's going to be about 10 minutes, maybe. It's going to be about me babbling and ranting about whatever theme of the week that I happen to have set upon. Like this past week was conspiracy theories. Are they true? Are they not? Here's the take on it. It's a bunch of crazy people that just have nothing to do but spew bullshit at other people. Oh, and accuse other people of whatever. Now, on doing the research for this, as some of you may know, I get a lot of my materials from Rotten.com's library, Googling things, just simple computer know-how. I am not an investigative journalist. I do take the time to actually put my own spin on things, and it's all, I'm guessing, good. I don't know if you people are reading this. I don't know if you'll hear this, but hey, we're not here to debate me. We're here to debate conspiracy theories. Oh, actually, I'll debate. You can just listen. Okay, that's enough of that. Let's start with the Mac Daddy of them all in recent memory, which is September 11th. Was it caused by angry... And brace yourself, it might get a little playfully racist. But was it caused by angry Muslims, sand niggers, dune coons, hajis, any of that? I'm pretty certain it was, because all the spontaneous attacks never really created such chaos on such a mass scale. Now, fast forward to September 11th. They carefully planned it for, I don't know, a decade maybe? Maybe a little more, maybe a little less. Not really too sure on it. But they were able to create fear and complete and utter terror, for lack of a better word, by carefully planning their attack out. Now, Osama bin Laden, great fella as he might be, was known to be kind of smart. Was he smart enough to pull these attacks off? Probably. Somebody with enough hatred and enough money can pull anything off. Now, was it George Bush and his administration that wanted to create this new world order government thing that everybody seems to be talking about that was supposed to have happened by now, but there's no evidence saying it has, at least to my knowledge? Sure, okay, let's go with that. Let's say President Bush did it, right? Halliburton, all that other stuff were to blame because they were in the presidency year. They wanted profit along with President Bush's own whatever companies. Everybody made a profit off of it. But that's the history of the world. War makes money for people who are in a position of making money on it. That's gonna happen. And government contracts have always been favorited and awarded to people who are in politics and government and all that stuff, because that's just how it goes. Now, if I had a arms company that I distributed and manufactured missiles, stuff like that, I would have bid too. And who knows what would have happened. But woulda, shoulda, coulda, but didn't. But did they really do it just for that? Because if you think about it, politicians in that type of mind state are already millionaires. Some even more. And yes, greed is a powerful thing, but these men are like fucking 60 and older. What would have been there to leave? What would have been their goal of earning so much money, considering we all inevitably die? But we're not here to discuss that either. We're here to discuss, let's just say, motive. Let's go with motive right now. What would the motive have been to kill 3,000 of your own people? What would the motive have been to really have to think about insinuating these laws of the Patriot Act on us? Now, yes, less privacy, less rights, all that stuff. But it's partly the conspiracy theorists fear also that put these laws into effect. Everybody was scared. Everybody was going on and on about safety and airlines and this and that, and there was a conspiracy in itself that the airlines were in on it also, so they could up security, get grants to do so. It's a circle of... Actually, it's more like a web of bullshit that inevitably lands back on money. Which every person has a price, I'm sure. But as a government official, would you really want to risk that? Because stuff gets leaked all the time. Would you really want to risk that some of those papers or some of the conversations have been recorded? Any of that being leaked, that you killed your own people for profit? That you killed your own people for a global government? Now, before you say, well, they could have destroyed all the documents, they could have not recorded any of the conversations, that's what will lead back to Watergate. Everything that any politician in that high of a power does has the potential to be recorded and documents to be there all the way. And then Iran-Contra as well. There's documents and all this stuff, and politicians lie. It's what they do. That's why they're politicians. Now, as normal people, if we lie, we're bad people. But if politicians lie, they're just doing their job, really. So I'm not going to blame them on that point. But I digress, I guess. Okay, well, let's move from September 11th. Let's go on to secret societies. And that's enough of that. Secret societies have been around forever. And they're not really secret. What's secret about them is what goes on behind closed doors, which is child abuse, pedophilia, human sacrifice from some standpoints, all that stuff, which I'm not going to argue that they exist. They exist. It happens. There's evidence that proves that they exist, but there is no evidence that proves that any of the other stuff they do is unlawful, illegal, or just downright disgusting. From the Freemasons, writing the whole goat thing and controlling the world and this and that, and all the way to the last post for Conspiracy Week was on the Bohemian Grove, where it was pedophilia, human sacrifice. Human sacrifice seems to be a big deal with secret societies, but that's neither here nor there. So what is there to do when one finds out about a secret society? You could tell somebody the truth, and hey, there's this society. Or you can start to make yourself look a little better by concluding, hey, there's this secret society that, they rape kids and they kill farmers as a sign of agricultural god appeasement. All types of stuff. Great. Now, does anybody have any proof? And not just proof that it happens. Does anybody have any proof that it doesn't happen? No. Not at all. So all we can do is speculate. And all we can do is hope that somebody comes forward and tells people. And all we can do is be a little bit afraid of what's going to happen if we come across these people. And that's it. Now, I've known Freemasons. And I've asked them about stuff. Obviously, they can't talk about stuff. And I just asked them. And these were pretty good dudes, I just asked them, like, hey, is there any of this stuff that goes on that I'm reading about? And I would take it at face value, and they said, not that I know of. Maybe in the higher ranks it does. Maybe it just doesn't exist, that form of abuse and danger for other people. Now, we'll dive into that, I'm sure. We'll dive back into conspiracy again. But as of right now, this blogger, this Facebook page manager, whatever you want to call me, bastard, asshole, fuckhead, whatever, is just going to go out on a limb and say that we can speculate that the speculation is purely speculation. Now, next week, our topic is going to be America. It's going to be America. It's going to be what makes this country great and what makes it not so great. It's going to probably focus more on the not so great part, but I'm not going to repeat to you this patriotic bullshit that you already probably know because it's in the media all the time. Now, the week after that, probably the presidential elections. I'm going to be doing research on all these presidential hopefuls, and hopefully we can expose some type of truth behind their lies, their job, actually. So instead of their lies, I'm going to start calling it their job. And I hope that my ramblings made some type of sense to somebody, because you know what, honestly, I got lost a few times in my own head. But next week, I hope to add video and possibly be done with the opening theme and closing theme. But as for now, I will just close it out by saying, knowledge is free, dying costs a fortune. You might as well learn while you're able to. Enjoy your weekend. If you're not aware, Deadpool came out tonight. And be safe. See you next week.